Hey, Stay, how's it going?
Hi Adam, I'm good. Enjoying a nice evening here in London. It's been very hot today. Yeah, this week I don't know what's up with it, but it's summer all over again. I went sunbathing a bit earlier.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of the opposite here. I went outside this morning to walk to the gym and it was 55 out, which is 12 Celsius.
Okay, wow, that's pretty chilly. That's how the whole of July was over here. So it kind of like compensates right now with this kind of weather because July was almost unbearable. Yeah, it was like winter, basically.
Man, I'd think that would be lovely, but it was too cold.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it being chilly, especially now. I'm kind of like not looking forward to like 30, which is like actually looked up how to make the conversion, but I can't remember the formula. I think it's like the fifth or sixth time I tried to memorize it. But yeah, 30, pretty hot in London.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah. 86
Apart from
Fahrenheit.
that, yeah. Apart from that, how have you been doing?
Um, it's been a busy last 2 weeks. I,
Yeah,
like I think since the last time we talked, we released like the big new update. No, wait, I think that was after. I can't remember now.
yeah.
I think it was after. But yeah, we've been debugging the big release, and my wife came down with COVID after she came back from a trip, so we've been quarantining in separate rooms. But this morning she had a negative COVID test, so we think that you know it's she's feeling good. I think we can return to being in the same room together.
Ah, that's perfect. Yeah, it's this new variant. I've had like lots of friends catch it, and it's not fun.
Mm,
It's not fun.
man, yeah, I so far I still haven't had COVID at all. So I'm gonna see how long I can keep going. Like
Wow,
when my
you're what?
wife, this
Yeah.
was my wife's first time getting it, and
Okay.
her doctor was like, "Wow, congratulations,
Yeah,
you made it this far."
yeah. It's quite a feat, actually. I mean, yeah, that's quite something.
I think it's a combination of not working in an office and not having kids. It's like those
Oh
seem to be
God.
the two biggest ways of just being around other people.
Yeah, definitely. I feel so lucky working from home because of that, because all my friends who are working in an office get every kind of seasonal thing
Yeah,
every time, and I just wouldn't want to like have that at all. It's yeah, especially with COVID. Yeah. Yeah, now that you're saying it, I think I had it, but I haven't had like a positive test, but yeah, maybe it was something else.
hey.
Who knows? Yeah, pretty good.
What have you been up to lately?
Well, lots of stuff. I'm recovering well for from the sinus surgery. It's already like feeling way better, which is yeah, quite revelation to be able to
Wow.
like breathe like this way. I mean, I know, I guess people who had sinus surgery can uh, uh, can relate, but yeah, it feels like way different. Yeah, and last weekend we went to one of the seaside cities over here with the little one as well, and it was really nice. It's a nice little city called Brighton, and it's Brighton, and it's linked with another city, Hove. Yeah, and it's been really developing for the past 3 years. The last time I've been there was 3 years ago. It's only 1 hour away from London, so it's kind of like Coney Island, but London's Coney Island, and maybe Coney Island got a bit better since last time I was there 8 or 9 years ago, but it was kind of like a bit run down, and it had that really nice seaside run down vibe. Uh, but yeah, it wasn't like the most thriving place, but lots of like interesting people. I had some like fried shrimp there, and it was a really nice atmosphere with all the people hanging around Coney Island, the usual like, yeah,
It's a very
locals.
different vibe than something like have you ever seen Sanditon, the show?
No.
It's like PBS, like BBC masterpiece uh
Okay.
thing, but it's set in an English seaside town,
Okay.
and it's really good. But it's very like, yeah, it's like Downton Abbey set in a small town, and like,
Okay. I'll
yeah.
have to check that out. Actually, I'm into this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's only
Yeah.
2 seasons, but it's really good.
Okay.
But yeah, I imagine like that's that kind of like small English town when I imagine like a small English seaside town. But that's
Yeah.
probably like 100 years ago or 200 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. All the stuff over there, it looks like it's not been maintained for like the last 100 years. But actually, no, it's a bit better now. I was actually surprised that, stuff was beginning to pick up. They're tearing down lots of old stuff which was run down and putting new stuff in place, and the new stuff is not tacky. It's okay. Yeah, plus like a ton of cafes and shops. One of my favorite uh, clothing brands, small clothing brands, is from there, and I went to their shop. It's like a brand called Story MFG, and they're kind of like this newish hippie vibe. Yeah,
Interesting. What did you say they were called?
Story MFG. It's a couple who owns it, and they've been really doing great in terms of aesthetics. I used to own a fashion brand, so I'm into that stuff. Yeah, grabbed a nice tote bag, like Japanese looking tote bag. They also had some nice sun hats, really cool stuff.
Nice. Yeah, they're very
Once,
colorful and like
yeah,
eclectic. Yeah.
yeah. It kind of looks like there's another brand called Bodhi in New York, and they've been like really big lately as well. They do, I think, upcycle stuff, so they take old clothing and they revamp it. But yeah, it's really, I guess, it has been in for the last couple of years. Really good
Nice.
New York stuff. Yeah.
I'm I'm like slowly trying to like. Well, one of the things I've decided not to do is buy any more gray shirts. Like I like all of my gray shirts are like the ones I wear are the ones I stopped buying like 2 years ago. So any new shirts I get have to be like colorful, and but I still have like GitHub shirts and things like that.
Yeah, you can never get rid of those. Yeah, well, that's a great rule. I've been actually trying to do that myself because I've been buying stuff which is like one color. I'm usually like going to Uniqlo, which
Mm,
is like the go-to like place where I buy all my basics. But yeah, lately I've been like looking in the mirror. Okay, this is just like brown all over. So yeah, I need to drift it up a bit. So yeah, all in for that kind of role. Yeah. And on the hardcover side, lots of stuff happening. It's been really exciting to see the new updates coming in and the whole experience being a lot more speedy and the search going well, and our
yeah,
users started growing as well. We hit the 3K
yeah,
mark, which is,
3,000. Yep,
yeah,
and
yesterday actually.
yep,
So yeah, well done us, I guess.
yeah, and just like seeing. I was checking out the like Google like SEO, and seeing like you know going from 5 clicks to like 15 clicks in like a week. Maybe in another week or two that'll double again. We'll see, or triple
Yeah,
again. We'll see.
I'm hoping for that exponential growth. So
Yeah,
fingers
we
crossed.
we were so like with the previous site, like the minimum amount of JavaScript and HTML that would be downloaded was something like 400K just to like show anything. And on top of that, there was like a longer time until the page was like usable, and it had some like cumulative layout shift. So we've kind of taking care of all of that. So hopefully now Google will like us.
Yes, fingers crossed. Yeah, the rules they have set in place are, I mean, they're good. Not complaining, but yeah, they're really strict. So glad we're like keeping it within those bounds.
Yeah. And yeah, especially now that the book page itself is like server side rendered, and so the like when you download it initially from hardcover, it already has, you know, the title, all the information, the reviews, everything about the book, compared to before where you load the page and then it would have to make API requests to get all the data for the page. So now it'll like, you know, it's both a better experience for users and for search engines. So yeah, it's amazing how much work goes into like making that transition site wide. And we've
Yeah,
only done it for a couple pages right now. Like most pages are still kind of a combination of server and client side rendered. But
yeah.
yeah, the profile is also one that, like the user profile, that one's also server side rendering.
Okay,
And
nice. That's why it loads so fast.
but that had one like unexpected like consequence, and it's that like if you go to your profile, it'll show you the public, everything that you have made public. So if you have a friends only goal or a friends only book, it doesn't show up in there, which is why if you've ever looked at like why the red count is off on like the red books versus the count at the top, it's because the count at the top is using like any kind of books read, and the one in the bottom part is only the ones that you would be able to view that that person has read.
Oh
And it took me
wow!
so
Okay,
long to
so
figure out
that's
why
what
that was
was
happening.
causing it. Yeah, that was such a. I mean, on Discord, I think it's at least three people who mentioned that. So
Yeah,
good that you got to the bottom of that. Yeah,
yeah,
it's so complicated, and server side rendering is a thing that even for development, it was kind of like it's kind of recent. I mean, maybe you know better, but I think React introducing server components was a thing that happened in 2022, so last year, maybe even 2023, actually.
yeah. Like there have been ways to do it for a couple years, like on the JavaScript side. For other
Mhm.
languages, it was normally the server side rendering first. JavaScript frameworks came at it as server side rendering last. But yeah, even for React, there have been ways to do it for like 10 years, but there hasn't been server components. So it's been kind of a you've had to jump through quite a few hoops to even get it to work with React until somewhat recently, like in the last year or two. Um, but yeah, it always makes me wonder, like if you know if we were doing hardcover in Ruby on Rails as the front end, then everything would be server side generated.
Oh yeah,
You know, but then we wouldn't have the same level of interactivity that we're able to do on all the React side. It would have been
yeah.
more difficult.
Plus the ecosystem, I'm imagining it's way better for React than for other. Uh, yeah, just doing it in Ruby or other.
Yeah. Like as soon as you start doing JavaScript, then it doing JavaScript with Rails becomes a nightmare very fast.
Oh God, yeah, I can imagine. I'm seeing these tweets of people doing stuff in 3JS and WebGL, and it's like these wild fluid simulations with something falling in a liquid, and it's so realistic. And we're trying to like render divs in the browser, and equally difficult. I mean, different stuff, but yeah, I guess shows how much these things like evolve for separate purposes, and how like yeah, handling data is so much different than uh, like doing those kinds of animations. I
How,
remember the Flash days. I had a few friends who
oh
developed
yeah.
websites in Flash, and they were devastated when it actually got interrupted. And I actually saw some Flash sites pop up on Twitter lately, and they're I mean, they're freaking amazing. You couldn't even do that with CSS today unless you were really like keen on doing like lots of animations. But yeah, it was crazy. It could have been like another universe, but then again, yeah, Flash had its like bad stuff as well, I guess.
Yeah, it was fun for the time. It pushed forward like all of the stuff that happened with DHTML and like dynamic HTML. I feel like that was pushed forward by all the innovative stuff people were doing in Flash, but then wanting to not do it in Flash.
Yeah, yeah. Oh god,
I
yeah.
was I was just looking into 3JS the other day, and let me share this tab. I was like admiring this visualization on 3JS's website.
Oh wow, look at that. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this is like
Yeah, that's
the
a lot
stuff you
of
can
bits.
do.
Yeah.
And it like, there are little things you can zoom in. Like it
Oh
is
wow.
like yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just so neat what you can do with it.
Yeah, it's
I
amazing. Well, it's as hard to do that as centering a div, so it's- we have our own struggles.
and don't even get me started on vertically centering it.
Yeah, it's okay. Now that we have Tailwind, I guess that's what I think I know how to do. It. Yeah, nice. And now we're talking about the next chapter and like what we're gonna do for a hardcover, which is very exciting as well. And I think this is like the next major update, which we've been talking about for a while, discussions, and it's been really fun. Like gathering feedback. I know you had some like really good calls with uh, lots of people who had really strong, let's say, feelings towards discussions and how they would look like. And it's been really, like, really nice to see how everyone would envision those. And we did a lot of, I think we're getting close to having something that we can start working on, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my hope is that maybe like this month, like by the end of September, we can get to a place where we have like a good like V1 idea of like what we want to implement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're on the right track. We just need to uh yeah, just continue iterating on what we have, but I feel like we're on the right track.
Yeah, yeah. I think it will need, yeah, exactly, a couple more iterations and some other rounds of feedback. I mean, should we go through what we've been doing in design so far and just show everyone like an overview?
Yeah, yeah, and we can kind of touch on comments from people as we're going through it.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let me share my screen. Share the entire thing. Here we go. So, app and web designs. The discussions tab.
Yeah. So these are the three designs that I showed to the last interview.
These ones on the top, right?
The ones on the bottom right
Oh, ones
are
on the
the
bottom right. Okay.
which were kind of like variants of the ones we already had with like small tweaks.
Yeah. So these are going towards our goal of having discussion boards for each book. So right now you can see the book title and the like minimized header. This is the discussions tab, and these are discussions. So they're looking good. Uh, Lots of like interesting things happening here from our point of view. We talked about doing this so that it's as flexible as possible and allows you to post like everything you'd want to post about a book. So if you want to have a question, if you have a question, or if you want to like mention a book as part of a wider overview of books, or if you want to share quotes that you want to discuss, or if you want to share a link, these will all be types of uh, actually shapes which the discussions can take, but essentially they will be discussion items. They would just have different features, so different tags. They would have different things you'd view when you are browsing them. So you could have a list of books, you could have a small description. For links, you just have the link. So I think this is like really close to how it might look like
Yeah.
when it's live.
Yeah. I think like the high level idea of like there's a discussion section under books and there are like different types of discussions and we show them here and we order them by some kind of like hotness by like how much discussion there's been on it recently, but with the ability to sort them by like, you know, last updated or things like that. I feel like that part is like fully understood by everyone I've talked to. Like people get it, they understand it, um they like it. They like yeah, I feel like that part is solid. And now like then it gets into like the individual like little um individual posts and how we like display those. And I feel like that's kind of where we're at now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Showing this to people, I'm wondering what felt the least clear uh, when they were viewing all of this.
So I think on this page, the things that were least clear to people were um, like some of the info about the reader, like this, like finished reading this book and the number.
Mm-hmm.
So far, no one has been like, oh, that means that this person finished reading Cersei, or this person is on. I think maybe like it's kind of, or it's kind of like this or that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
but
That
yeah,
should.
like
Mm-hmm.
they didn't get that this was that person's state for this book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe we should make that clearer. I mean, over here, this is in the first like iteration, the number of books read, but then we're thinking this could also be the page number.
That was one of the things that people were confused about. Like, is that how far that person is in the book, or is that the page number? But
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
when like that was one of the things that was also hard to like get at when I was like interviewing people. Like when they learned like, oh, that's the number of books they read, they liked that there was some way that we were um kind of like showing social or like expertise in some way. They liked that there was
Mm-hmm.
something that demonstrated expertise, but they didn't feel like we nailed expertise yet.
Okay, that's a very good. Yeah, that's a very good observation. I think looking at these, what stands out is, I mean, this seems like a primary information that you would want to see. So when someone posted this, what page were they on? Uh, so yeah, it would be either this or that, or what minutes were they on for the audiobook? I'm guessing.
Or maybe we normalize it and just show percentage done, but I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Or it becomes like a component that like it starts as something and then as you click it, it changes to a page number and then you click it again and it changes to a I don't
Yeah,
know.
that could. I mean, if we get that, the only like complication I saw was that some people might be listening to audiobooks, so the percentage could solve that. Um, but changing it could also be interesting because let's say you're on page 200 and you just want to see posts that were made up to page 200. Of course, you'd be able to set that over here, maybe in filters as well. But 34% might not be like clear. If you tap on it and it
Mm.
says page, whatever, if it's the same edition, yeah, you'd know. Okay, so they read up to the point where I've read, so that's cool. I can like read this, or I can click on this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
makes
it could
me
be either this or this. Yeah.
it makes me wonder about, instead of doing a badge, we 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 say something, we just like say it in text, um no, and we say
Even
like
this, like,
has read 34%.
nice. Yeah, that's perfect. Maybe even, I mean, when they posted it, do you feel like it's that important?
I think it needs to be somewhere, but it doesn't
Yeah, it needs to be
necessarily mean
somewhere,
at the top.
but it doesn't
Maybe
seem
maybe it's
primary.
on the top right, and then this goes down here, because I think when
Yeah.
I've been kind of trained to look at the bottom left from all social media platforms.
Oh yeah, I think I actually moved it in one of the designs. Don't know where, but oh yeah, somewhere over here. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for that. Yeah, exactly. So replies, yeah,
and
this
I'm thinking about if we
the
want,
profiles. Yeah, we can
yeah,
remove them. I mean, it's if these are people on in your network, it would be nice, but then again,
it's
it
true.
wouldn't be mandatory. So we can start with the mandatory items and then let's say a go
Yeah,
and maybe move to the like yeah
yeah, I think that's
yeah
very
this is
clear.
already way clearer. And then for the prestige score, just going to zoom out a bit and grab some of those badges from the book page where we had those reviews. Where are they? Ah, here they are.
Oh yeah,
Boom. Okay, let's go here. Sorry, everyone, if we're navigating too fast. But here we go. Yeah. So where is that? Oh, here it is. So maybe the score, or it could be over here. I think we have quite a bit of space, especially on desktop and on
yeah,
mobile. We'll see.
and plus that's like the row about the user.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be there.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
and that would, like, that is more targeted in terms of what it's talking about, because it is like uh genres for this. So the idea is that like this book is a uh fantasy and, I don't know, adventure or whatever the symbols
Yeah,
are, book, and this reader has read 234 fantasy books and 856, what should that be,
adventure.
like adventure.
Ship well, or adventure. I was hoping for a pirate ship over
I,
there.
I think
I don't
we're
know.
using like a map.
A map. Okay, map. Okay, adventure. Yeah,
But
maybe another map, but yeah, we can read this one. Yeah, that's amazing. So this tells you that this user not only has read 34% of that book, but they also read 234 other fantasy books and 856 adventure books. So that's like, yeah, top prestige.
and I seeing this, I'd also wonder, like, they've read 34%, but it's really what's important, is it important that they have read 34% or that they had read 34% at the time this post was made? Because like if they complete the book after the fact, should that continue to go up?
Oh no, definitely. So yeah, this is something like this, not with this wording, but basically means that this user posted when they've read up to 34% of that book. So it's not related to like uh, their current progress, but the progress they made when they posted this, right?
Right. And maybe if they don't have this, we could just say something like, oops, um, something like, you know, is currently reading,
Oh yeah,
or
finished reading.
yeah,
Yeah, this is way clearer, and I like the actual language instead of the tags. It's not a lot of text, so I think we can afford to do that. Also helps for the book clubs, which will be my next question.
or maybe instead of posted at is like is currently reading at,
Yeah, something like that. So
and
it has to
that
be
way
the
that way if they don't update progress, it'll look like that. But if they do update progress, it looks like that.
yeah. I'm wondering if people see this, would they think that
Mm,
Nina Reed's posted when they were at, if they are still at 34%, or if they got past that. So let's say Nina makes
good point.
another post. Uh, so it's like 53. Or let's say this one mentions the page. So it's, yeah, 50% crazy around here. Um, so if this happens, um,
Yeah, maybe currently reading isn't the terminology. Maybe instead of is currently reading, we say was currently reading.
yeah, exactly. So if they finish reading, uh, if they finish reading, yeah. Hmm. Uh, so that would say this was posted when the reader was at page whatever, or they went through 53%. So,
Yeah,
uh,
maybe we just say just was
yeah.
at 30,
Oh, yeah.
or
That's way clearer.
was reading.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they are still reading that book, if they were, I mean, if we get the status here and they are currently reading, we can say is currently reading. And I'm guessing if they finish that book, it could say just finish reading, maybe, for the posts that don't have like any progress on them.
Yeah, if you
Because
go
it's
up,
kind of different. So this shows where it was posted, this shows the status. So it's kind of like, yeah, it has a different meaning. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna leave it was reading. Yeah. So they posted this when they were reading, but they didn't update their progress, so you don't know when this was posted.
right, and one up higher than that, I had like has read, but I don't know if that. Maybe it's just like, yeah, it's like read.
Red and a check mark.
Yeah, or how about like read, and then
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, this is good. There was also the comment that quotes are something different than all of these, but I kind of, I mean, the thing is that comment was really good from the point of view that there should be a quotes tab in here. But I'm wondering, do we differentiate between quotes posted here, like
Mm-hmm.
start like a spark for discussions, and quotes added as quotes where you don't actually want comments, or should we make it the same thing? Because yeah, I'm guessing if you post a quote, it should by default, in my mind at least, allow comments, and it can become like a discussion point. So maybe the quotes appear here just as like quotes posted by these uh, readers without the comments, but over here it's the same quotes, so we just showed them differently. So this one would
Mm.
just get shown as like this quote without the discussion like wrapper. um, does
Uh,
that make sense?
so if you view it on the quotes page, the quotes page isn't a place for discussion. The quotes page is just a place for quotes, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
you just, yeah, exactly, you just see the quotes.
And maybe we
Or
can still link to the discussion, but it's not like highlighted, it's not optimized for it.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, now that you're saying it, maybe we can just leave them as discussions, and we also show the quotes. I mean, we can show them differently. It doesn't have to be like in this box, but yeah, I'd show the replies if there are replies as well. And maybe in the editing, if you don't want quotes, you can, if you don't want comments to quotes, you can specify that. But by default, if you post a quote, people can comment on that quote saying, okay, this resonated with me.
Yeah.
This, yeah.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Plus, the quotes being in here, I think, is a uh, thing we can solve by making the filters really easy to use. So, if you don't want to see quotes in here, it would just be as simple as clicking this and unchecking quotes.
Right. So yeah, the filters, I was just making some notes. We need to be able to filter by like post type, which is like
Yes.
discussion, quote,
Question. If
link.
you want to see links, I mean, some people might want to just see links. Instead of having a links tab, I would much rather have like a filter that doesn't take them away from here. I mean, we can have a links tab that shows the links, but just filtering them from this menu, I think, would be enough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a, yeah, it's kind of a question. Like if we have links, would like maybe if there's like enough of them, then it makes sense to have a links tag. But I
Yeah,
imagine like, if there's only a couple links, it doesn't make sense to have a whole separate page for it. So maybe it's
yeah,
like only if that book has enough links that we even show that tab. Like only once a book has like 10 links to even show that tab. Or same with quotes. We don't even show the quotes one until people have created at least like 5 quotes
yeah, definitely.
or one quote.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, most books won't have that from the start. I'm also thinking, I mean, it's also a problem of how we categorize things in terms of category, I guess. Because if we post them as separate things, uh, would we want that? Or would we want them to be part of the discussions? That's why I was thinking if we do a quotes tab, maybe we can just show the quote. But then again, I wouldn't mind encouraging people to talk about these,
Yeah,
even if they're links. Yeah.
and maybe the sorting is going to be different because I could see the quotes being sorted by just most likes, and then it's the best quotes are at the top rather than sorting by like a relevancy or recency. Because like you, when you go to the quotes tab, what I would want to see is the best quotes from the book,
Yes.
not the most recently hot quotes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of like discussion. So maybe this is just like showing things. I'm also thinking like this is a discussion. So you can see all this stuff in here. But on the links tab, maybe you just want to see the link and the thing we've just been working on, which I'm forgetting, the OG image. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The yeah. So it's
yeah,
kind of different from like what we're showing here. It's maybe a box with uh like the OG image, and it's just something like this. And maybe, yeah, you get the user who posted it as well. And this is a link.
mm,
And we have the go to discussion. Hmm, actually, yeah. Now that I like imagine how it would look like, not sure about like separating them, but yeah, we can separate them. It's, I mean, enough
yeah.
we should focus on now, I guess.
Um, yeah. I think having it with like one card style that shows up the same in both would for sure be the easiest way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Mm-hmm.
then we could also like change it over time if like we realize like, you know, when we're viewing the quotes, like as soon as we get this on staging and we start using it, we're like, oh, when I view the quotes page, I really don't want to see this, or this doesn't make sense to see. We can start
Yeah,
tweaking it.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I think this is in a really good like spot to have us like brew over it. I also wanted to look at the
Oh, I had one other
editor.
thing before we switch to the
Yeah.
next page.
Yes.
One of the things that um, is kind of interesting for that we have is like we know like how far the current reader is in this book, and we could hide things that are past where they've read in the book. Um, but I feel like in order to do that, we need to like make it really obvious that
Yeah.
that's a setting that like what you're seeing when you're viewing this page isn't what's custom to you. Like it's based on where you are in the book.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
doing that like hidden under a filter, I worry would kind of get lost.
yes. Showing. So basically, we wanna just show posts that were made up to a certain percentage done or up to a certain page if the reader is currently reading that book, right?
Yeah.
Showing results up to page. So something kind of like this, 35%. And maybe having show all. So yeah, this would be like the most basic version, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so
One
how do we
one
improve
uh
this? Yeah.
one kind of out there visualization tool that I've used is doing something like this with and this is very out there, but bear with me for a second.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah.
So like there's a little line under here, um, and maybe like this indicates like where they are in the book. So for instance, like there's a little circle
Ooh,
here.
okay. So kind of like their goal, but kind of like thing we use for, yeah.
Yeah, and they can like click on that circle and drag it to other spots in the book. And if they drag it all the way to the right, that's the same as show all. And we could
Okay.
probably still have it, but and then as they're clicking and dragging that little dot, the
Yeah, this
P123 part is like gonna change.
yeah, this is nice. This is really good. This is a good, really good idea. But I think we should make it bigger. So, I mean, if they're gonna drag in that like small circle, they're
It would be
gonna,
very hard on mobile to
yeah.
click on something that
Even
that
on
tiny.
desktop.
Yeah,
If I like, yeah, but if they do this, okay. So maybe we do this and maybe what happened on Discord? Um, maybe this changes. Oh, okay, so we want a fixed point. So yeah. Hmm.
I
Or
could
yeah,
see it. I
skip.
could see it up there. Yeah,
Yeah, that's like
and
this out a bit. So it's like this, and yeah, this is looking good.
one kind of like other far off idea that I had for this was like if there was a small background behind this that kind of looked like this. Let me just do this here.
And would that be the mood? Let me guess.
It's kind of like, is there a way to fill this?
Oh
Fill.
yeah.
Oh, it
Oh
didn't
wait.
fill all of it. I must have. Oh, I overlapped it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh wait. No, there's a point in there. Let me see if I can find which one. Oh yeah, here it is.
Cool.
Yeah, this
And
is very good.
and it's kind of like your. It's it's a visualization of where people are talking about this book.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's not. Yeah, of course, it's not the mood. Yeah.
So it's like, there's a lot of discussion at this point in the book. There's a lot of discussion at this point in the book. And then
Yeah.
there's a lot of discussion at the end.
This is very good. Yeah. Just move it like that. Down to capacity. Maybe make the stroke a little.
And maybe
Yeah.
like if
Oh
you're
yeah.
if you're like this and you're highlighting it to that point, maybe like from that point forward, we even like blur it so that way you don't even know like that there's going to be a big part that's talked about 100 pages from now because even knowing
Or
that's a spoiler.
true, but then again, I think it would be on the side that, it's pretty vague. So you're kind of like, yeah, maybe it could be a spoiler, but
you
I
could you
don't
could always
know.
like click on it to show it, like maybe it's like
Yeah, that's true. Let's see if I can like set this to like 1% and effects background blur. Okay, so it's blurred out. Maybe even more below that.
yeah, it's kind of like that, like you
Uh huh.
or we just like cut it off at that point and we don't even
Oh yeah,
show it.
it can actually be. Wait, I'm gonna make it into like a gradient. Uh, so this is 100, and this is this color, and this is this color, but no opacity. And yeah, we just like, where's the gradient? Okay, let's do this.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, exactly, something that just like shows it blurs off, and as you start dragging this little Man, I just wanted to grab it and drag it. That's how I think that's a good sign when you want to start interacting with the prototype.
Yeah, exactly. This is perfect. Yeah, yeah, this is a great idea.
Maybe since we have this chart here, maybe this all ends up going like below it
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
instead
wouldn't
of on
mind a little bit of overlap, but
top of the graph.
yeah, slightly smaller and
Change this to say discussions. And that's kind of because this one is in like currently reading. And so
oh yeah.
it's, yeah. And I'm thinking maybe like for, let's see, we might want to like,
Move these.
I don't know. I think they're still, well, they could be, yeah, they could be below that. Yeah, I think you're
Yeah,
right.
definitely be below this. Okay, move this. Teamwork and maybe new discussion can be nah, just leave it there. Yeah, this is looking good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like the chart for like where people are talking about the book. Like I think that could be really neat for finding it. Like that was one of the things when I was using, like I was trying out Fables discussions, and
Uh-huh.
like there would be like, you know, there's like a discussion board for every single chapter, and I was looking at Babel, which has I think like 100 chapters,
Oh
and I'm
God.
like, there's like 100 discussion boards, and I'm like, okay, which one do I even go to? Like, where's the discussion happening? And so I feel
Yeah.
like this helps answer that.
Yeah, that's the thing. The navigation there. I mean, even for us, it's so like key to nail how people will navigate through these discussions. And yeah, this is especially with our async book clubs idea. This is great. Yeah, I really like this.
And
Nice.
do you want to switch to the next one?
Oh yeah, we can like briefly chat about this. I think my cat is like battling the trash can again. I don't know why she does that exactly when I'm on this call on Mondays. Wow, they have a sense for that, don't they? Uh, yeah, so this one would be the way that you'd post something and this would change the shape that this editor has. And I really like that following your latest interview, one of the pieces of feedback was that these types of posts near the formatting wouldn't make any sense. And yeah, I totally agree. So the formatting naturally goes over here, and we can have like this is the page number, these are the tags, and I also put the public display, or was it like that before? Oh no, yeah, I put it there. It was like this before. Yeah, so that makes sense to be over there as well. So the idea is that when you, for instance, tap a link, these would get disabled. So it would say descriptions are disabled for links, and this would just be entered the URL, right?
or
Or
or the it would still say enter the title, but then maybe
oh yeah,
this bottom part would change to just like a,
enter the URL.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if they write anything other than the URL, we'd just like
Yeah.
tell them.
Yeah.
That's not it. Just
And we
enter
could
the
like
URL.
make the box smaller. Whoops. And
Oh
all
yeah, we'll
that.
make the box smaller for the, yeah. Actually, let's like, so this, so for the URL. Whoop. Okay, this wasn't on the page. What?
That's why I wasn't doing it when I copied it.
Yeah, I always do that. Don't worry. So yeah, basically, it might appear to be, but it could be on top. So yeah, so this would just like be a link, and when this is a link, you would only get uh title, and this would be smaller, right?
Yeah.
For the URL, and this would have to be a URL, and yeah, yeah, I like this. I think it's pretty clear. I mean, as long as uh there's like a possibility for us to like shuffle these kinds of posts in the future. So just in the case that I don't know, maybe some we this scenario, let's say, happens, we're making them this way and people are desperately asking us to, okay, enter, we want a description for the URL, for the links, and if we have to implement that, we should change just like the posts, uh, the rules that are associated with the posts, if that makes sense.
Mm,
So
yeah.
this would be just like that same post but with different features. So if it has a link, it should just have this. If it has a poll, it should have just like that that poll attached to it. So they wouldn't be like different things that would have to change in the back end, I guess.
Yeah. One thing that came up when I was talking to people, it's kind of similar to how like these ones up here were like non-editor things, but like up in the description one, um, things like the bolding, um, spoiler, and we'll have a couple others. We'll have like italic. If we're using
Mm-hmm.
the same editor as our review, we'll have let's see, italic, list, heading,
Mm.
and we can decide which of these we want to like keep and which ones we don't.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I'm wondering if we can actually, for the formatting at least, I think there are a couple of ways to do that work on mobile, where you can just select the text and then you get the formatting controls
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
heading, like bold, italic. I think Notion does that. Uh, Wait, let me go on Notion real quick and see if I'm actually remembering this right. So, how is this? I don't remember joining this. Uh, Here, and yeah, so this kind of thing.
yeah. There's also um, dropping a link in the chat if I can get in there. Um, I'll just drop it in Figma.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Here we go.
This link,
Okay.
and this is using the editor that we're currently using.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is perfect. Yeah. Does this work on mobile as well?
Good question.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see if I put it in
Yeah. I
mobile.
also love you.
Oh yeah,
I
if you
just
select anything,
noticed that
it does.
Notion has an at,
Mm,
so
yeah,
this could be nice. So the way we were thinking about it is that if you type at, you'd get like a small search box where you would search for readers and authors. And if you'd want to search for books, you would just type slash and you'd get the same dialog but for books. That's the only thing that you'd need to remember about the editing. So it's at, which like everyone who knows how to use a social network knows, and the slash, which I guess like everyone who like learned programming knows as well. So those are the only things um, that are like things to remember.
Yeah.
And
And
I kind of love that because it's not much. You get the tutorial from the actual like uh, mm, placeholder. So yeah, that's all you need to know. And if you remember that, you're like, yeah.
so if we do that, then should we like delete all of these options and
Oh
rely on
yeah,
people selecting?
yeah, of course.
So yeah, one of the other things that came up is like when someone saw this page for the first time, are they going to know what these options mean?
No, so maybe we could. Yeah, so no. No
how
is
do
the
we
short answer.
how do we onboard
Uh,
them?
yeah. So this would be progress. So either page number or minute for yeah,
Yeah, I see.
yeah, up. And these would be the tags or mentions.
Yeah, probably.
I think I have like something that's
Yeah.
similar on the next page. Well, how did I do?
Oh, I was just copying it over.
Ah, here we go. Okay. Ah, okay. Perfect. Yeah. Because I put the mentions in here, and the idea would be that, yeah, I was just playing around with stuff. I think these would make much more sense over here. And yeah, just yeah, actually, let's focus on this one. Yeah, so when you'd click on mentions, you'd actually get this whole thing replaced. So it could be like editing mode or mentions mode, and mentions would be basically for when you just want to have an overview of your mentions, basically. Do you think that would make sense, or would you rather see those as you'd type? I'm thinking if you're editing, you can already see like the names of the books and the names of the authors. So my thinking was that it would make sense to have like a separate uh, thing where if you mention, let's say, I mean, I guess the way some people write reviews and the way some people do references, which is going to be the highlight of what we're building, we'll end up with some posts that have 20, 30, 50 mentions. So putting them at the end of the post might be a lot, but if we have like a separate tab, so it's either view the mentions mode or editing the text mode, I think that would be uh, good for those types of posts. What do you think? Do you think that's like overly? I mean, is it overthinking or?
I'm thinking that like on desktop, we still have a lot of screen real estate. Like on mobile, I feel like having it like toggle between those two makes sense. But I'm wondering if
Mm-hmm.
on desktop we could show them like below it. That way they're kind of
Yeah,
they're kind
you
of
have
like
an old.
shown down here somewhere, like,
Mm-hmm.
and it could like auto populate and auto add them. So if you like
Yeah,
if you add something to your review, it's
it
like,
just goes down.
yeah, it's just like automatically keeping it in sync.
Okay, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, and on desktop definitely, and it can just be yeah. This can be tags. Uh, would
And
tags be mentions as well? Since we're on this.
I see them as something different because like a tag could be any string if we're
Oh
going
yeah.
with like
Okay.
the that. But I also wonder about like how we can like really encourage people to tag things, like because we don't want people to be tagging them here. Like we don't want people to be writing
Yeah.
that in their post. We want it to be a separate field for tags. And I kind of worry about having it live under something people need to click into, that they might not add a tag because they might not click into it.
What if there's like separate fields here or underneath that just has? Well, let's just put. I'm messing this up, but it's okay. So, what if they have like a dedicated place over here, and while you just write them, they go here?
Yeah, that could work. And then it's just auto completing. Like you can type as many as you want.
Yeah, exactly. And it can also scroll. Fix that. Okay. Oh, yeah. Jesus freaking Christ. I could have just done this. Wait,
Ah,
don't mind me. Sometimes that happens. Okay. So, outlook. And yeah, maybe even progress would be, yeah, it could be on the same.
yeah, because there's,
And mentions, they would just like appear underneath.
I guess there's two different things for progress. There's like how far you are in the book, and like, are you referencing something in the book? And
Yeah, that's true. So it can like by default be your progress, but if you want it to be something else, like I'm at page 100, but I wanna reference something at page 20, you can just put page 20 in your progress, right?
yeah, but yeah, is that progress? Because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like
Well,
referenced page number, or like max page number referenced in your article. Is kind of,
yeah.
is it like this
It can just be
discussion goes up to this page.
it can just be well, it's a page mention. So you're mentioning a page. You're either mentioning like the page you're at right now. So maybe even like post it here. Maybe it's not the best, but yeah. So yeah, I think this is like a lot. It would get like a lot smaller, but uh, yeah, maybe just like leave it as page or that. Yeah, that's the thing. This is either page or minutes or bytes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
guessing for many people it would be page or minute. I haven't seen like many people mention or know their progress in a book, so they know the page, they know the minute, but if they would have to think, okay, how far am I? So this is something that we can calculate, and over here we can write like the currently reading page, but like 35%. So maybe this is so. Yeah. Hmm. Wow. Just gonna write that.
yeah. We can keep it as that, and then we can like talk to people about it, see what terminology they use when they're describing this feature, and then we
Yeah.
can adjust what we show on future prototypes based on what people say.
Yeah. Good call. Yeah. Because if we're saying that because you entered the page number or the minutes while you were updating your book progress, we know that you're at 35%. They can write 35% here, or they can write the page number, and we can definitely like have it as like a default that they can change. So this is the page number that they're currently at.
Or maybe it's not even page number. Maybe it's like up to page, and then it's
Oh yeah,
so
exactly.
it's less about like what happens on this page number, but it's like what happens everything up until this page number.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because yeah. I'm wondering if they want to mention. Someone mentioned chapters. If they want to mention a chapter, maybe would this be the place to let them write the chapter name?
Um, you mean like yeah? Can you say more about that?
Well, someone mentioned that they wouldn't like
Mm,
say the page number where they were at, but they would mention the chapter. So I'm at
gotcha.
chapter whatever from whatever book, and I just mentioned the chapter. I don't mention them. I'm at page 125. So uh,
Yeah,
maybe this is a way to get some book data as well while they're doing it. So I'm thinking maybe we can let them. So we require the page number, but they can also mention the chapter name, and we can mention that on the discussions page. And it can be something like add chapter or something similar. Add chapter.
yeah. Because I was thinking like if I'd read the book and I just read at the end of chapter one, and what I could see myself wanting is like a selection that's like choose chapter
Yeah.
with a
Oh yeah.
a down arrow, and
Mm-hmm.
then like this is a select box, and when you
Yeah.
choose the chapter it changes the page number for you,
Oh
and
yeah. That'd be great.
then if you
Uh,
and then maybe one of the selections in that choose chapter is like add a
add.
chapter.
Yeah. Nice.
And
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
this is good. I'm actually gonna do it like that and drop down.
nice, yeah,
Just let's have a drop down now. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Ooh, okay. This is looking good. There's
yeah.
so much functionality in this.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I think for
Let's
that kind of functionality to have like this clean of a layout, it's something. I mean, if we
yeah.
iterate on this a couple more times and if we talk to more people, yeah, definitely heading in the right direction. Yeah, with
And then,
discussions, it's tough to know what people want. So, uh, so far, oh yeah, here we are. Yes, perfect. Yeah, that's what this was missing. Let me like, inside this. Oh, what did I do? Yeah, if you don't copy it inside the frame, it just like adds the title. That's why
that's why I've
it's
had it.
yeah.
Yeah, and these would show like books mentioned and
Or characters. Yeah,
characters,
you
other
can put
people.
like a profile picture there. Uh, why do I have the profile picture? No, here we go. So let's take these two. Well, that big, but not that small. Maybe just like that.
And maybe we just have like a default one for characters until we
Oh yeah.
have a more like I know like I have a dream for characters somewhere way down the line with
Haha.
using large language models to make character images based on cosplays. So
Oh
like, you
God,
know, if
yeah,
a whole bunch of
that
people dress up as a character, you could create a visual representation of that character based on people that have dressed up as them. But
yeah, that's
that's a someday project.
that's crazy. Yeah, we should definitely. I mean, I've gotten all the stuff. Uh, we've been talking about lots of stuff that's generated, and so far, that's been like generating some really good results. I know I generated some covers. We have the on the app page. Let me quickly go and do a quick intro. So I don't know if everybody noticed, but when you go on any book, let's go on explore genres. Let's go on fantasy. When you go on any book in here, you see this, which is an image we generated based on the main genre of that book. So this is dystopian. It has a dystopian background image. The Hobbit is adventure, so it has it's fantasy, so it has a fantasy background image. And yeah, we're planning to generate these for most genres and then for every book. And if there's an artist who really loves a book, we can feature their cover on the hardcover website. So yeah, definitely excited about that.
And if
And
you
besides
click
that
on a
one,
user, like a person who reviewed The Martian,
oh yeah,
then it'll go to their
haha, you got the fantasy one. Haha, nice.
yeah, and that'll be fun once we expand that out on the profile page. There's a lot of them. Oh,
Yeah,
I think
yeah, this is great. I love it.
cool.
Nice. Let me stop sharing.
Well, I think we made some good progress.
Yes.
I think the next call with someone next Monday. Um, is there anything you want to change between now and then on this?
No, I think it's really good. It's in a really good place. Yeah, these
Cool.
calls are amazing for like brainstorming on uh,
Yeah,
what others told us and coming up with ideas. It's
nice.
getting
Yeah,
close. Yeah, I can feel it's in that place where it's flexible enough and complex enough to like generate all those discussions that readers want. So yeah,
yeah,
it's
I think
exciting
so.
for sure. Nice,
Cool.
great. Well, this has been a really good session. I'm gonna head off to do the night routine and
Sounds good.
yeah, bathing and sleeping basically.
I'm gonna probably figure out this iOS bug. Spend some time on that.
Oh God, that's been a tough one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe today. Well,
yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
I will talk to you tomorrow.
Perfect. Have a good one.
Bye.
See you.